In the next maybe 1 year or so, I'm going to fly out to Hungary.
Yeah.
I'll get a lady there. I bring her here. I show her the funny things in life. I impregnate her. I make her give birth to a nice pointy kid. And then after that, I send her back to Hungary. And you must be asking yourself why I picked Hungary out of all the places in the world.
Why are you so hungry? Tell us. When I say facts, one of my favorite phrases from this guy's song is Mwenye wivu ameze wembe. I'm talking about the one and only Jackson Getchu Makini, aka Prezzo. He's going to be joining us on POV podcast, giving us his own point of view. Tattoos, drama, love, politics. The whole thing goes down today, right here on the POV podcast with me, Ketrira. Karibu kwenye show.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling?
I'm easy, man. I feel blessed,
Let me tell you, the last time I interviewed Prezzo, I don't know if you were wearing sunglasses in studio.
Yeah, I think I was probably.
What? There's a big change.
Yeah.
There's a big change.
How far ago was last time?
So we could probably almost 2-3 years back.
See, 3 years is a long time.
Yeah, it's a lot of changes.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about that. But before we do that, let me give a big shout out to Startup Lounges. That's the reason why I'm feeling so comfortable. I'm feeling so good. Check them out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Startup Lounges. They give you such great seats when you have events. You've got your own event. You've got something you want to do at home or something good like this. Check them out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and catch them. Let's get to it. CMB Prezzo, Cash Money Brothers.
Yes, ma'am. CRB.
I was about to call you CRB. It's CRB ni ya pesa pia.
Naelewa. Good to see you. Listen, you're glowing. Siri ni nini?
Where? Siri ni.
What's the secret? Would you share it with us?
There's makeup, there's that.
No, I'm not talking about that kind of glow though. Yeah.
I'll tell you why I'm glowing. One of the reasons is because I made a choice to make my own path.
That's what's up.
And that's something you know so well about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've carved your own path at a very tender age.
Yeah.
Even as a man. CMB Prezzo, Cash Money Brothers was you and many others.
Absolutely.
Where are they now?
Well, sadly 2 of them passed away. Rest in peace Firoz, and rest in peace Oscar. Firoz is actually Naziz's brother. And the one member is in Florida right now.
Wow.
The other one, my cousin Ray. Shout out to Ray. He's in Tanzania.
Wow.
So everybody's doing their own thing,
That's really great. When you guys came together as Cash Money Brothers,
yeah.
What was the thing? Was it just music, or were you guys running around town just being Cash Money Brothers? What was the thing about being a Cash Money brother?
The thing is, I was born and raised in Isli.
Yeah.
I stayed in Isli for 10 years. And then we moved on up to Langata. So when I moved to Langata, that's when now I started liking rap music and the lifestyle. So CMB, Cash Money Brothers, came from a movie called New Jack City.
Oh.
So New Jack City.
I don't think I've watched that. I need to watch it after this.
Yeah, New Jack City was about these drug dealers who called themselves Cash Money Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, and we watched that movie. We used to meet at my house with my goons. We watched that movie say 1,000 times.
Yeah.
4 times a day. And I used to tell my boys, I'm like, when we make it out there, this is how we're gonna be rolling.
This is how.
Yeah, excluding the narcotics and everything. So they had a slogan that says, "Am I my brother's keeper?" So we rolled with CMB ever since the 90s, and it was inspired by that movie. It's actually starring Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ever since then, CMB was instilled in the brain.
So other than just the music part of it, because that's how we came to learn about Cash Money Brothers, it was also sort of a brotherhood for you guys.
Yeah, it was a brotherhood, definitely it was a brotherhood. All the CMB members had this lion gold ring with rubies on their eyes,
Okay.
So we weren't playing, we weren't half-stepping. And the funny thing is, people don't know that I was actually famous way before music.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used to pull up in Village Market and the whole world and their mothers know that the president is in the building.
Okay.
What do I say?
But I will say this, the music kind of pushed it to a more national and East African and African view.
Absolutely. But you see, for me, I appreciate it even more because it was like, you know, before the music, we used to go into studios and just record like mixtapes to give each other.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, having CMB on our back was like, we were being molded for this fame that was about to come with the music.
So do you feel like there's a difference between the fame that you guys had to do, because then you guys were distributing CDs on the ground, you're going to parties. Right now, you go on TikTok, 2 minutes, and you're blown up. Now, you see, I give my props to myself and any other artists out there who started in that era and was able to make a name out of themselves. Reason being, you see, we didn't have no social media, we didn't have nothing, so all we had was guerrilla tactics. You know what I mean? We'd go into the jungle. So guerrilla tactics, what do I mean? Let's say, for example, like Capital FM, they used to have this top 7 at 7, right, on the countdown. So I'd make sure I get my whole crew calling and requesting for Naleta action. And everybody, and everybody, including me, you know, for those who don't know, like, me name's Sunny. All angles, you know, like I can play with my voice. I'm just a gifted brother. But people don't get to see that side of me, you understand? So I would call and change my accent, and I'd be like, nataka yo nyimbo huyo, unaelewa? Like 20 times I call with a different accent. Now I call with a different accent. When my boys are tired and they're shying from using accents, man, I was there. So that's what I mean by guerrilla tactics. And when I say we, I mean CMB, we blew up. We were like a household name without social media. So, you know, with that said and done, nobody can ever point a finger and say, you know, you're a has-been. My brother, you know, we're like the freedom fighters of this music industry. You set the pace. Yes, I usually say, sometimes I say, people like yourself, DNA, Nameless, all these guys, they crawled. You guys crawled so that we can walk.
That's it, you know.
You guys ran the race so that it's easier for us.
Absolutely.
And I won't lie, that kind of tactic is crazy. Calling like 1 billion times so that you can get your Dini played. Which is your easiest accent? Nigani raisi sana?
Any man, you know.
Kumbuka unaitwa Ngechu?
Gesho.
Geshu. You have to say it like that, not Gechu.
Todorere, ekegwere, magana masyo.
Matato.
You have to shake it. You know, Steve-O the other day was telling me, shout out to Steve-O is behind the scenes. He was like trying to get into the Kikuyu mode, right? And he's like, hey bro, I want to talk, but yeah, it's yo. I'm like, no brother, you have to shake it. You have to shake it, you know. That's the Kikuyu way.
I like that. And I like how you've always been proud about saying your name and where you're from. As much as you rap in English and Swahili. What do you think? Would you ever rap in Kikuyu?
I would, man, you know, but the only, you know, I came to realize that God cannot give you everything. Okay, what do I mean by that is, like, say, for example, the man that I am right now, right? There's only one tool from this body that's missing.
What is it?
And that's Kikuyu. I cannot speak Kikuyu. But if I spoke Kikuyu, though, we would have been talking a whole different type of ball game, because you ain't never seen a Kikuyu with this much swag before.
Hey, don't lie. You know, these days they were meoga sana. Have you seen
the Kikuyu? Jaba, ne jeso, shuka.
That's the only song he knows in Kikuyu. Sidanganywe.
Enyuba mwarewito negitetyo naidaje.
You know me, I'm called Wanjiru, and I feel like you're butchering it, so no, wacha tu. Get you, you're my friend, wacha tu, unachoma. Next time.
Mungu hawezi kukupatia kila kitu. Alijua huyu atakuwa ni nuclear weapon.
Wacha tu. But it worked for sure, and it's really good to hear how hard you worked for your music. And you know, I think the younger artists right now who have it easy, where you put up a song, it blows up on social media, which actually makes things a little bit easier for you guys now. If you're to release now, it'll be easier for your song to blow up than it did years back, don't you think?
Yeah, but you see now, when your music has been blowing up since way back then, it ain't nothing but a chicken wing. It's just, you know, a different solution to it. But you see, the thing I want to put out there is, you know, we have to appreciate one another. And, you know, when I say, like, shout out to anybody who built their name during that era, you know, I'm not just here, like, beating my own horn.
Okay.
I'm giving props also to the namelesses, the DNAs, Juakali Nonini.
Wahoo.
You understand? Wahoo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the list goes on and on. But, you know, you have to give props where it's due. You know, one brother that I really appreciate in the industry, actually two brothers.
Yes.
You know, it's Otile and Calligraph, you know. Because Calligraph, he always shows love. You know, it doesn't make him less of a man,
Yeah.
but he always shows love. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, there's no better feeling than seeing somebody who's doing good out there, you know, giving props where it's due. You feel appreciated. The
It's
same
necessary.
thing with Otile. Me and Otile are like cash and tango, you know. That's why we have like 2 songs together
Yeah.
and still counting. So, you know, at the end of the day, like, just learn to appreciate, and then God will bless you in his own kind of ways.
I like that, and there's a big evolution I like about you, Prezzo, is that you have been able to, do we say circumvent? You've been able to do like a full circle about life.
Yeah.
A marriage, love,
Yeah, the whole 9 yards.
music,
Yeah.
politics,
Yeah.
and now hearing you talk about God, I'm seeing a really different version about you. I won't lie,
Yeah.
because I'm telling you, the last time we interviewed, you had glasses on,
Yeah.
and that has been your look for a very long time.
Yeah.
Now the Prezzo we're seeing is sort of a different man, if I'm to say.
Yeah.
What has changed?
Life just teaches you so many things as you go,
Yeah.
as you go by, you know, and as you grow older, you know, like, you just have a different perspective
How
of
old
life.
are you? You say old, I'm like, how old
People
are
say, the blogs say I'm 42, but I'm actually 24.
you? No!
They just mismatch the numbers. And a brother doesn't even look at my
Oh,
God. Oh,
bro.
my God.
But 42 is really good.
Yeah, man.
42
you know,
with what you have done is really good.
yeah, man. I give props to the Most High.
Yeah.
Now, here's one thing, right? I just want to set the record straight.
Okay.
A lot of these musicians, as much as I give them props, right? A lot of these musicians shy away from saying what their age is.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense to me, because you see, you have somebody like AKA who got popped the other day, may his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
You know, he was only 35.
Yeah.
Now, you know, at the end of the day, you know, if God grants you good health and life, right?
Yeah.
Always you have to give thanks.
Yes.
And how do you give thanks? You know, maybe you might pray, but by you proudly claiming that, yo, this is my age, is actually giving God his appreciation indirectly, that thank you for keeping me this far.
Yeah.
You know, I've lived a very, very crazy wild lifestyle.
Okay.
For me to be here talking to you beautiful people, I feel like I'm out of words, you know, because I've had one too many close shaves in my life.
You want to talk about any? Please
Man,
tell me one.
I mean, that's why we're here.
Tell me one. Because I can imagine the nightlife, the craziness that comes with it. There are things you have seen, there are situations you have been.
Yeah.
And as you spoke about, AKA, such an amazing artist, doing so well, just
Doing
like
well.
you. And
Yeah.
by the way, it's making the age count, the number count.
Yeah,
At
man.
that age, you have done this much.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a time ever your life was threatened, or you're in a very close shave situation?
Like more than 9 times.
Which is the worst? Tell me the worst.
I got shot in the head, you know, at close range
By who?
by some very bad people. And it was a close range, like they put me in my car in the back seat, and then they started driving.
Okay.
You know, so when they were driving, I had a Rolex, okay, gold, everything.
Yeah.
I had this phone called a Virtue. That phone was like $5,600. So I was telling these guys, I'm like, listen, you know, I always talk like this, you know, I'm always cool, calm, and collected, right? So I realized that these are just my age mates, right? Probably maybe I was even older than them. But one guy for sure I knew was older than me was the driver, because I could tell.
Yeah.
So after roughing me up and everything, I told him, take this watch, take this, take my jewelry, take everything. And, you know, when we were driving, like we passed State House, we were heading towards like Buruburu. This guy who was sitting on the passenger seat turned around. At that time, I was doing a program called Cobra Squad.
Oh,
That
with
was
Alfred
there,
Mutua.
With Alfred Mutua.
Oh, yes, you were on that show.
Yeah,
Yes,
I was playing the bad guy there.
Yeah.
So this guy turns around and he says, unafikiri hizi ni zile za Cobra Squad. So when he turned around, he just fired. You know, how I'm still here is just Papa God. Or
Wait, who came to pick you up after this thing? Do you remember anything?
oh no, they shot me. So see, one thing, like, you have to realize, I'm in love with guns, right?
Okay.
So I go to the range every once in a while, and you know, like, the lessons that you're taught there is that one of them is, if you're ever shot at and you hear the gunshot, then that means you're not dead.
But if you didn't hear it,
If you didn't hear it, then that means lights out, you know?
it's you.
Yeah. So when this guy popped me, like, luckily, you see, like, when he popped me,
Yeah.
that click of it going this way, it bruised my forehead.
Oh, shit.
So my forehead was split open, right? And then they dropped me at an aisle, Kichochoro in Buruburu. And this guy says, because, you know, even after they shot me, I kept talking to them. I told them, listen, I do not blame you guys. You know, like, I've given you all my belongings. You know, I have a wife who's expecting. I was just talking to them, you know. But then the worst part is not even getting shot.
Yeah.
The fact that the blood was dripping on my eye, and then it was now ile damu ikiganda. That was the worst. Yeah, that was the worst feeling ever. When I blinked my eye, it was just so painful. So they said, like, you see, can you see that floodlight? There was a floodlight like maybe 200 meters away.
Okay.
I told the guys, I'm like, yeah, I can see it, because I had the car stopping. So
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I can see it. They said, okay, cool. We're gonna leave your car where that floodlight is, and don't you dare try follow us. So in my mind, I'm thinking, brother, you guys are 4, you're armed, you know. Why the hell would I take it upon myself to follow you? That's in my heart, though.
Yeah.
And then I remember when I came outside the car, I took a T-shirt, I tied it on my head, and I was just praying to God, you know, because I was like, hey, because I honestly saw death around the corner.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I've not seen how bad my head is.
Yes,
I don't
you're
know.
just bleeding.
I'm just bleeding, you
Yeah.
see. So when I got to that floodlight, it was a gas station. And then I got there, and the attendant there was like around 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
The attendant there, when he saw me, he goes like, Prezzo man, man, ni wewe. So I'm like, bro, can't you see my situation?
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
there was
this is not the time for that.
Yeah, this is not the time. So I told him, I'm like, brother, niangalilie taxi, I need to go to the hospital. And then that's when it dawned on him, that's when he saw the blood and everything. He's like, oh, guy. I'm like, no, don't, guy, just look for the taxi. And then, and the taxi driver, you know, I just want to appreciate the guy as well, because he took me in, he took me to Nairobi hospital.
Yeah.
And I told the guy, I'm like, take my number. He's like, no, Prezzo, enda utibiwe kwanza, bro. Maisha yako ni muhimu, you know. And that, to me, was just something that I cannot stop giving thanks to God for.
Damn, I know. I'm shocked. I think I've never experienced something like that, and we thank God for things like that. But when you come out of something like that, and then you see how Kenyans are struggling to get money, because one of the reasons you were mugged is they wanted to get a coin.
No, actually not. You know,
it wasn't about money.
No, they were sent by some other business people of whom, because they found me like right outside my house when I was driving in. So, you know, you cannot say like it was like just a normal raid, you know. It's just people who, and you know, the sad part is like the people who sent them for me were people who were very close to me.
So you know who they are?
I know who they are, and I told them, man, to get their refund, because Ngechu ain't dead. Yeah.
He's gonna stay longer and longer, yeah?
But the lesson I learned through that, I was discussing with my brothers yesterday. I said, you know, like, in life, never take anything for granted. You know, never assume anything. Because, for example, you know, I hate to bring his name up, but he's the recent incident that happened.
Yeah.
If, you know, for example, like, you understand I'm walking outside that door, you know, you always have to have your antennas up.
Yeah.
The people around you always have, you know, like, it only takes a blink of a second and it's lights out. You know?
That's true. I don't know if you watched the video. I actually saw the video of AKA's gunshot violence, and I wouldn't lie, there was speculation, someone who posted something on Instagram, there was someone who stood away a little bit too close and it was part of the crew. It was such a, it looked like and I don't want to get into it because gun violence happens all over the world.
Yeah.
But of course, in the US, it's documented more. Ukusi sana.
Yeah, it's true.
There's this misconception that people who have guns, especially in Nairobi, are very reckless with guns because you see it in the club. Mtu akikasirika ndio huyo, and you've seen it before. There's a member of parliament who had such a case, and it really almost took someone's life. It's even great to see them back alive. Knowing that, and you've dealt with guns and things like that, what would you say about that? Because it's a joke in the club. It's oh, let me show you I've got a gun, and the next thing someone's gone. Yeah.
I just think, like the government needs to put more awareness, and when you're vetting people to hand them a firearm, you have to go through the legal process. So when easy come, easy go. So if I come to you, I break you off, and then you link me up with a firearm license, if I don't go through that vetting, then I don't know what I have.
Did you go through the vetting?
To be honest, I didn't. Yeah, and I did.
Prezzo, you can't say these things. The government's going to find you.
Hey, listen, that's why we fought for freedom.
Okay, so
our people fought for freedom because we can speak. And, at the end of the day, I'm not rubbing anybody's shoulders the wrong way.
Yeah.
I'm just calling a spade a spade, I came to realize that the new word for charismatic is crazy. People will think you're crazy, but actually if you take time and just listen to what the person is saying, implement what you need to implement, see what you don't need to implement, it makes life a whole lot easier. So that vetting is very, very important, because through that vetting is when you realize that, okay, this is a matter of life and death, But now you find a lot of people try to flex and everything,
Yeah.
And this is the problem of, see, like me, I had a firearm ever since I was say 24.
Okay.
So I grew up with this thing, it doesn't faze me. But now when I see my friends getting the firearm, and I see the way they're acting, it just puzzles me.
It's a little bit reckless.
It is reckless, na pia ningependa kusema kwamba ni ushamba kusema ukweli. Because that's something that you keep to you, yourself, and you.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to know about it. And say for example, if you had coins in this pocket and you had notes, you had maybe 10 shillings in this pocket, coins in shillings, and you had 100 shilling note on the other side.
Yeah.
The notes will never make noise. It's the coins that will make noise.
For sure.
See what I did there?
For sure. Have you ever had to use your gun to protect yourself?
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah, one too many times.
Damn.
I'm telling you, my life is like a movie, and right now, like I said before about the birthdays, when you say, thank you, God, for another year, it's like you appreciating God, right? So right now, I can speak about it comfortably because, man, I have seen it all. I have done it all. And, I'm just living proof that there is a God out there.
I like that.
Sorry to cut you short.
No, I'm excited. Every time you speak about God, I'm like, who is this Prezzo?
Yeah.
Who is this Prezzo? Are you going to church lately?
No, I'm very spiritual.
Okay.
You see, one thing you have to realize, I'm not Christian, I'm not Muslim, I'm not a Buddhist, I just believe in the higher power. Reason being, you see, religion brings division. You see, I have been on both ends. I have been a Muslim before. I was raised a Christian, but then it reached a point whereby I just had to make my own decision because Christianity was confusing me. One time you hear finger of God, next time you hear there's this and that. So, I'm thrown away,
Yeah.
And I came to realize that I'm like, at the end of the day, it's me and the man upstairs.
Oh my God.
So I always talk to the guy, and that's why you see I'm in my 40s and I don't even look it. Life is so amazing. Life is beautiful. I'm surrounded with positive energy,
Yeah.
They took my other Rolex. I still got another one. Yeah.
You still upgraded, so you good.
Yeah, we're good.
There's something I remember you mentioned.
You have a beautiful smile.
Thank you, sweetie. I remember you mentioned Nazizi at the beginning, and we're talking about the CMB brothers, of course, Feroz, and, I can imagine that was a trying time. But then when I look back at your friendship with Nazizi, let's go there, because I feel like one of the biggest hits was you and Naz.
Yeah.
How is your friendship right now?
Nazizi is my sister, you know.
Yeah.
Nazizi, we knew each other from high school.
Yeah.
I used to go to Braeburn. She used to go to St. Austin's.
Yes.
And so in Braeburn, I used to call my boys to come with a car. I'd get inside the trunk. I leave the hostels, right?
Yeah.
And then they drive out like maybe 100 meters. They stop the car. Then I come out and then I drive the car all the way to go see Nazizi.
Oh, damn.
So she used to know the trouble I used to go through just to go kick it with her. At that time, me and Firoz weren't really as close. But then, yeah, Nazizi is my sister for life, you know. Like, at the end of the day, like, I feel like she's one of the people who contributed heavily into building Prezzo to the rapper that he was and still is.
That is
so, yeah, shout out to my sister, you know.
There's something, sadly, a little bit common about both of your stories. Both of you you did a good job, actually, getting married and having kids.
Yeah.
But it's sad that it's a common affair that both of you, at one point, Nazizi announced about, it's so funny, Nazizi announced her divorce, and we didn't even know she was married. She knows how to keep her things low-key. I like that about her.
Absolutely.
But I think right now she's in a very beautiful relationship, if I'm not wrong. I think I saw something on the internet.
She is, yeah.
And I remember also with you, we saw the same thing. There's marriage and then there's divorce. Is it something that happens to people who have been in the limelight, or what is it?
It's not just people who have been in the limelight.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I think, you see, the technology also is a gift and a curse.
Yes.
Because if you find out, you know, I've not done the research, but I can tell you off the top of my head, many relationships and many marriages are broken through these phones. You know, like I text a lady and then maybe I've gone to grab a glass of water and then you see the text coming in. I think it's the technology, like, you know, it's a gift and a curse.
Okay.
And also, you know, like with marriage, for example, you have to have perseverance and patience. Like, you know, even if you live with your brother and your sister, you know, because they're always in your space, you know, you have to have some sort of resilience and some patience to withstand people around you. So I think, you know, like these cell phones also have contributed a big time, not just to musicians, it's just this generation that we're in.
You think that do you feel like we'll be able to survive marriage in the next 10, 20 years as a generation?
I really don't think so, to be totally honest. And then again, I could be wrong, but you know, at the rate it's going, you know how many people, like, okay, I'll break it down to you.
Okay.
I have a good friend of mine, I'm not going to mention her name, but she was the wife to one very prominent person. And you know, this friend used to be very close to me.
Yes.
So she told me, like, you know, about her life history, and this was way back before I got married.
Okay.
And she said, like, you know, when I moved to Kenya because of my husband, I knew that, you know, I'm married to this and this person. I knew that I'm gonna have the fairy tale wedding and what have you. But you know, as much as this person was very influential, this person took the lady to the AG's office.
Okay.
And he had the witnesses and everything. And this guy is probably 10 times richer than me.
Quick wedding.
Yeah, quick wedding. So at the AG's office, everything was done there. After that, they went for lunch. And then the guy even removed his ring.
Why?
I don't know. I can't really get into details.
Okay.
But my point is, you see, this guy was way richer than me, right? And here I am, you know, like a youngin. I said, man, you know, and it doesn't make matters any easier, the fact that T.I. had this song that came out, you can have whatever you like. Yeah, baby, I could treat you so special, so
like
nice.
Yeah.
So, you know, this lady, I got married to her after 13 years of dating, right?
Yeah.
She's a lady who I was in high school with. We finished high school together. And then, you know, everything that this lady friend of mine told me with that prominent person, to me, it went in one ear and out the other. Okay. So what I do, you know, I'm a very open person. I spent millions in my wedding, right?
I remember, oh my gosh, if you never saw Prezzo's wedding,
Yeah.
you are slipping at this. It was a chariot.
Yeah, you know
It's
what
a
I'm saying?
freaking chariot.
Oh, Sinclair,
It was, I was like, wait, what? It was something that had not been seen in Kenya. Right now is when we're seeing those full-blown expensive weddings.
Yeah.
At that time when you did that work, because it was documented everywhere.
Yeah.
I think it was documented on TV and also on the papers at that time because social media haikuwa bado.
Yeah,
so you had to see it either on the papers or on TV. But it was, oh man, you went all out. Do you remember how much you spent?
Yeah, roughly around 4.6. But you see now, with the same breath, you know, like I told you before earlier on in our conversation, you live and you learn, you know, like life teaches you some things and you say, if I could do it again, I would do some things differently.
Do you remember what you would do better if you were given a chance to do it one more time? Is there something you feel like I would have done this better?
Yes, darling. You know, I would go to the AG's office with my brother Steve as a witness.
That 4.7?
Imagine. And you see, the saddest thing is, like my mother told me, she told me, why you have so many friends, why don't you have a committee? I said, what?
Committee ya kuchanga for the wedding?
I said, man, when I was meeting this lady, they weren't there.
Oh, okay.
You know, and at the end of the day, you know, like me, I'm a man who stands my own ground. You see, thank God for that, because even when me and my ex-wifey separated, right, nobody could come to me and tell me, yo, you know, is how with this wedding because you get with Changad. Nobody. You see, and out of those friends that I invited there, right?
Yeah.
They ate, they drank, they danced, they laughed and everything. But you see, when my marriage was hitting rock bottom, not even one of them came up to me to, like, you know,
to help you out,
try and mend things up. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what friends are there for. You
felt like no one was by your side at that time?
I didn't feel like, I mean, I knew nobody was by my side. That's why you see, like me, I'm a self-proclaimed mama's boy. Because my mother, you know, like my mother, man, she's been there for me. She's held me down.
She came through at that time.
Through thick and thin. I've put my mother through hell. But she's the one person who always, you know, my mom makes a joke. She says, hakuna hospitali ama jela ambazo hazijuagi ngechu. Which is actually kind of true, you know. But
it comes with having a son, you know. Sons are a little bit out there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, you know, if there's something I could have done differently, that would have definitely, you know, most of the times I pull a front out there, they ask me, so is there anything you have any regrets? I'm like, actually, no.
But now come to think about it, that 4.7 was...
Yeah, man. I mean, truth be told, you see. And at the end of the day, I wasted that money in feeding people who were not even relevant in my life, you see. But, you know, to a president, you don't know thing but a chicken wing. At the end of the day, like, you know, that's the fees that you have to pay when you're in the school of hard knocks.
I hear you. But there's one thing that you will love about Prezzo is that every time he loves loudly. Oh my God! I'm always like, you know, of course the first wedding, you know, was all over the papers and we could see that. As soon as the baby came out, we're seeing tattoos everywhere, and that was really good. You've got to celebrate your kids. The second time you were in a serious relationship, it was not a reality show. It was out there. But even before that, at Big Brother Africa, you were also in a relationship. Rest in peace to the beautiful Goldie.
So, you know, all in all, like, you know, for me, you know, when you ask me, how old are you? Man, I say it with pride because I've been through hell.
You know, men hide. Men hide their wives. They hide whoever they're... But for you, it's posted up on Facebook. It's on Instagram. But I haven't seen so much lately. I've seen, but I'm like, okay, we're speculating. The blogs are talking.
It's because the millennials don't understand this ish. They're too busy, like, you know, focused on the youngins now.
Okay.
But you see, it brings me joy because, again, you know, I just thank God for as far as I've reached right now. You know, I'm bigger, I'm wiser, you know, I'm at peace with myself. You know, when I see my brothers and them, like, getting pressure over this Valentine's, I'm like, wengine wanaogopa kifo, sembuse Valentine's.
Wengine wakipigana kutengeneza coins, nyinyi mnapigana maua.
Imagine, unaelewa. So, it's just a blessing, and, you know, like, throughout this journey, you know, I've come across all sorts of people. Right? I've come across all sorts of people. So I know what people I'm dealing with. You see, mimi ule msee mwenye nachekaga na vipofu, you know, and I keep my life moving. And, you know, another very big milestone in my life is I mastered the art of saying no.
Wow.
So, you know, you might tell me like, yo, Prez, what's up, man? You know, let's link up on Thursday, you know, and then I'd feel obligated to you. And maybe on that Thursday, I'm actually so pressed, you know?
Yes.
And then I give you my word. And one thing is, like, if I give you my word, I never go against it. But then I came to realize, I'm like, yo, bruv, there's nothing really bad or wrong with you saying no. Like, yeah, because people say no to me, and I actually understand them.
Let's go back to this young Prezzo who used to say yes.
Yeah.
Why were you saying yes to everything?
Because you see, I'm the one who sang the song, My Fans Me Now.
No, on the real though, Prezzo, why did you feel the need to always, like when someone calls you
because
and they want you to come through, why would you always say yes?
You know how I got the name Prezzo?
Tell me.
It's because I used to look out for everybody.
Okay.
You know, this will come with their problem, that will come with their issues. This, not knowing that also me, I'm going through my issues. But then I would put mine aside and I'd cater for other people. So it's just like, you know, a weakness that was inside me. And I always, you know, with a name like Prezzo, you feel obligated to do some things.
People expect you to show up.
Yeah, people expect you to show up. Prezzo, it's my daughter's birthday, you know, Prezzo, we're having a Itega. I'm stuck there in this Itega and I'm like, how the hell did I end up here?
What are you doing here?
Yeah, you see? So as time went by, you know, like, because I would ask people, like, can you guys pull up for da-da-da? They're like, oh, man, sorry, bro, you know, like, we got this, and that. And I totally understand them. So
but the same is not expected of you.
It's not, you know. But I came to master that art of saying no. And by me saying no, I'm not being rude or anything. It's just that, man, you know, like, kila mtu kuna msalaba wake. You see? And trust me, man, if there's anybody out there listening, if you master the art of saying no, you will be in a much better place. Hautazeeka, unajua utakuwa na ngozi nyororo kama ya mchizi.
If there's someone who ever feels themselves.
Check it, just feel awesome.
No. This corona, my guy.
It's like a baby's buttocks. And there's Makini
But it's true, you have
guy.
You have very good skin. It's not a lie. You actually have good skin.
Thank you.
A lot of men are not able to maintain good skin. You mentioned something, Makini Herbal Clinics.
Yeah.
And anyone who hears that, they know Getru, they know your mother.
Yeah.
And it's something that you have kept running for such a long time.
Absolutely.
Do you actually get into the office and work there?
No, of course. I mean,
how many times do you go to the office?
Like 3 times a week.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know, at the end of the day, see, like, this Makini Herbal Clinic was founded by my late father in 1979, before I was even born. Okay. And so, you know, like, all said and done, you know, I knew that I had a responsibility of which is, anybody who knows Makini is countrywide, you see. So it's a franchise, you know, and at the end of the day, I came and appreciated Makini because Makini took me to school. Makini took me to all the good places. Makini, without Makini, there would have been no me.
I like that.
You see, so...
Did you experience, not experiencing your dad, do you feel like there's anything you missed out? Or did you ever, you know, touch base with him at any point?
I think losing my father at an early age forced me to become a man before my time. You see? Yeah. And keep in mind that my pops was Kikuyu, my mom is Tanzanian. So I felt the urge to, like, you know, always protect my mother by all means necessary. Yeah. And, you know, my mother is Peng, you know, she's a yellow, mellow. So I had to fight a lot of battles for her. So that on its own, like, made me mature way before my time. So even in high school, like, I never used to hang out with my classmates. I used to hang out with the Form 6s because they would make more sense to me than my
the younger guys.
Yeah. And then another person who raised me literally was Jay-Z through his music. Wow. You know?
But here in Kenya, if you're ever to speak, is there any father figure that has walked with you or has been around you? Because I know sometimes when fathers leave or they pass away, there are other men who come in and step in. And it's something that I think every boy needs in their life. Yeah,
for me, it's actually one of my uncles, rest in peace, he passed away also a few years back. You know, Uncle Rama, you know, wherever you are, man, he played a very big role.
That's nice.
And he actually fine-tuned me into becoming... If it wasn't for him, I think I would have been a loose cannon a long time ago.
He used to
Yeah, no, he never used to, but you know, like he's my uncle from my mother's side.
Okay.
You know, and you know, Uncle Rama was a don, you know. He was a boss, you know. So I used to emulate everything he does, you know.
That's
like
nice.
I see the way he talks to people on the phone. I implement it, you know. It's always good to bite, but as long as you bite with perfection.
I like that.
You know what I mean? So he kept me going. I've mentioned him in a couple of my songs. So literally, I'm just an open book, darling.
So there are tattoos on your hand.
Yeah.
And one of them is the foot of your children. Now you're a father. And
Yeah.
thankfully, you are in their lives as we speak.
Yeah.
How are you able to do that, seeing that, you know, one of them you separated with wife? I don't know about the other situation.
Yeah.
How are you able to still be a dad, even with the situation being a little bit different?
You know, to be totally honest, na nitakwambia ukweli ile nikimwogopa Mungu. You know, the biggest mistake that our sisters do out there is trying to use a child as bait. You see, that's just you being plain and simple selfish. You see, because you're not really giving a damn about the child. It's like, you know how you go to the supermarket and then you see that buy one get one free.
Yeah.
It's like a package, you know. Maybe you just want to provide for your toy, right?
Yeah.
But then now this other person here is busy like poisoning your child.
Is that the case for you? Is that the actual case for you?
It's happened to me one too many times, and you know the truth will set you free. So I always sit back and I ask myself, I'm like, for how long are you gonna love somebody who doesn't love you back?
How many times are you able to see your kid in a month?
Man, you know, it ratios, you know. When we wake up with good spirits, then hey.
So have you seen them in the last, before the year ended? Have you seen
I
them?
see them from time to time, but you know, the honest truth I said to myself was, I'm not gonna make myself a prisoner, right? Because of a situation that I cannot fix.
You feel like there's a tug of war for you to see your kids and a relationship with the people you have kids with.
There is, but you see, the beautiful part about life is I have receipts.
Okay.
You see, so let's say, for example, like if my daughter sees pictures from when me and the mother were in Canada, when she sees the wedding pictures, she'll be like, and that's the monster? You understand? So for me, you know, if you're a lady out there and fine, let's say you had my child, for example, right? Nothing can ever change that. Whether you change my child's name or you change, nothing can ever change because
it's still your kid.
It's still my kid.
Yeah.
Now, clearly you have a problem on the table, so where do you go from there? You know, the easiest way is to have a mutual understanding with me so we can both provide for this toy.
Yeah, and we want to give them a healthy environment for them to grow.
Whatever you do in your spare time, whatever I do in my spare time, that's really up to us. But then when it comes to this toy, don't make it difficult for me to reach out. Don't make it difficult for me, because sometimes you can be up, sometimes you can be down.
Yeah.
When I'm down and you tell my daughter tell your daddy you want an iPhone, and you clearly know my financial status, right?
That's unfair.
That's like just putting unnecessary pressure on me. So I came to realize that, you know, it's them being selfish.
Okay.
And, you know, like when you get into an aeroplane, right? When they're giving you the safety measures and what have you, the instructions, they say in case of any turbulence and everything and the gas must come down, even if you have an infant, secure yourself first.
Yes.
The reason why they say that is because if you don't secure yourself first, then how are you going to take care of the people around you?
That's true.
So that's the same way you have to implement that into your own life, like worry about yourself first, you know.
More than anything.
More than anything. And then that way, you know, you have full charge of the whole scenario. You can take control.
I like that perspective. I remember, Juicy, I saw DNA posted something on Instagram and it was still about baby daddies. I think like it's a problem. Do you call yourself a baby daddy? Are you a baby daddy or are you just a dad?
No, I call myself Father Abraham.
Of too many.
I'm kidding.
You want to compete with Diamond, no?
No.
Upande mbegu nchi zote.
You see, the thing you got to realize is this the presidential D.
Oh, God, no.
It doesn't go anywhere just like that. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
That's true. We're talking about the alphabet. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah, tell them. So I don't consider myself, for me, I'm just blessed because, you see, when you look at my life history, right? In fact, I think God made me go hard on that wedding, because had I just gone to the AG's office, then I wouldn't be talking about it proudly right now.
Okay.
So that's probably the price that I had to pay. But, there's nothing anybody out there can tell me, because I've been there, I've done that. I've washed the T-shirt with Omo and it faded. There's nothing anybody can tell me.
But you know what? Especially when it comes to love, I always say those who go all out are the winners.
But I love the fact that you said, Prezzo, like, you understand me. You're like, my boy here, when he loves hard. Which is
I like that.
Which is the truth, and I don't shy away from it. Because at the end of the day, thugs need love too, and it doesn't make me less of a man.
Are you going to do it one more time?
Hell no.
Oh no, don't be like that.
No, I won't lie to you. You see,
you're not gonna do it just one more time. One more time.
No. Check it. Kuna msemo inasemaga kwa Kiswahili, kufanya kosa sio kosa, lakini kurudia kosa ndio kosa.
Kosa unarudia vipi? You just find a better person, someone who makes you happy.
You want me to be honest with you or lie to you?
Be honest.
Okay, so this is my strategy, right?
Okay.
Pali nimefika maisha, kwa maisha sio. In the next maybe 1 year or so, I'm going to fly out to Hungary.
Yeah.
I'll get a lady there. I bring her here. I show her the funny things in life. I impregnate her. I make her give birth to a nice pointy kid. And then after that, I send her back to Hungary. And you must be asking yourself why I picked Hungary out of all the places in the world.
Why are you so hungry? Tell us.
Because they are hungry. So, once I just give her any small hula balloons here, she'll be satisfied. Oh my God. And then we keep life moving.
If you're in Hungary, lock your doors, lock your windows. Prezzo is coming, and that's quite dangerous.
Yeah, and tunamok.
Oh man.
You might think I'm joking, but I'm actually
I'm not going to be shocked when I see it. I'll just be like, wait. This day. He said this.
Yeah.
And anytime you speak something into the world, it actually comes to happen. And you came out and said, I want to be in the parliament, nataka kuingia kwenye government.
Yeah.
You tried it out.
Yeah.
You went out, you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you, by the way?
Man, it was a roller coaster. But you see, for me, I believe, like, I'm one of the chosen ones. The reason why I believe that is because, man, if God was done with me, you see all these close shaves that I had, angekuwa ameshanichukua kitambo.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, like, I'm the kind of person who, you see, like the music industry, right?
Yeah.
I came and I gave it my all, right? 110%.
Yes.
And for me, honestly, I came to an industry that wasn't there. I wanted to open up the doors for the next generation.
Yeah.
So the next generation can open up the doors for the next generation, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So me actually putting myself in that ballot box was to be that change that people can actually believe in. Now, I didn't make it, but I couldn't kufisha moyo, because I believe, mi natembea na Mungu always.
Yeah.
And maybe, he's still grooming me for even bigger and better things.
There was a rumor that maybe you were just, you were being used, because, the conversations that people will have outside, and I always want to ask, because that's where we're here.
Yeah.
And there was that conversation of, is he just being used by these politicians to push an agenda? Because I remember that time you were vying against Mariga. There were a couple of people who were vying at that time.
Yeah.
And the two of you were the biggest names.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait, where is Prezzo coming from? Music into this?
Yeah.
And because we've seen people transition from entertainment and into politics.
Right.
But there's that question of, is he being used by these politicians to push an agenda?
What is so sad about this whole story is the people who are saying he's being used or he's not being used are the same people who come and complain and say, these leaders. Now, like, it's one thing to know that you have a problem, but it's another thing to try make a resolution for that, resolve that problem.
Yeah.
So me, kichochote, anybody can say anything they want out there. You cannot control it,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I never let that make me lose focus on my end goal, And you remember that story about Noah in the ark?
Yeah.
Noah told these folks like, yo, come help me build this thing because it's gonna pour.
It's about to.
And guys were like,
flood.
yeah, you know.
In his story.
Yeah, eventually they wish they actually listened to the guy. So for me, you know, one thing that I'd like also people to implement is never let another human being, right, like put you down or slow you. You know, haters are like, you know, bumps on a highway. They just want to slow you down.
But the road keeps moving.
But the road keeps moving. So never let anybody out there put you down, because at the end of the day, you know, if you believe that you're headed for greatness, then you're headed for greatness. And, you know, like a very good example is there's always that one mad person who walks in the streets naked.
Yeah.
And people are used to this guy walking in the streets naked. So you can even be choming your mahindi there. The guy walks in, it won't be like a...
It's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise. But you just go there half naked.
Ooh.
The world and their mothers will talk about you. You see?
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you just have to have that much confidence in yourself and keep soldiering on. You know, like you have those few people who you know are like your ride or dies. You know, you can call them anytime, any day, and know that they have your back 100%.
I like that. I like that. And you know, I feel like the world is for the people who put themselves out there, the ones who go out.
Yeah, man. You know, there are those people who wish they could make it happen. There are those people who believe they could make it happen. And there are those people who actually make it happen.
And who are you?
Come on. It's self-explanatory.
I'm just teasing.
You know?
But I can imagine, you know, sometimes not winning can take a toll on you, and especially for men.
Yeah.
And there are times that you have not won, either in a relationship, in politics, or
So
whatever.
many.
How do you get above it? Because it's become so bad that when men don't get what they want their way, the other thing is either violence, suicide. It goes really left for an African man when he loses. And so it's really losing when you don't get what you want. You know? How do you deal with it? Because if there's someone who's won so much, is you. And in the same breath, you've lost so much. How are you able to handle the two extremes?
You see, the thing is, like, at the end of the day, unajua maji yakishamwagika hayazoleki. So you see, for example, like, if something is out of your control, right? Okay, cool. Imetokea. And then what? Because if ukijishika tama, uanze kukasirika and everything, it's not going to change any situation. And, you know, I wasn't born with this. I just, as time went by, you know, because sometimes I used to kick myself in the foot. I'm like, man, you know, this didn't go the way I planned it to. But, you know, the more I keep stressing about it, then the more anger inside me. Unajua kama naambia Prezzo mambo nakwambia niko poa. You know, I just have this anger inside me. So, you know, one thing you have to realize is, Maze, if something is broken, don't try to fix it, you know. I mean, if it ain't broken, don't try to fix it. If that's the situation on the table, then look for a solution for it. So for me, actually, you know, I take life as playing video games. You know how you start from level 1? Level 1, to actually finish that level 1, you have to fail a couple of times. And then you move on to level 2. That's how I take life, you know.
I like that.
Cool, calm, collected, you know.
And let me tell you, this version of Prezzo, I won't lie, I love it. Because there's a version of you that pissed me off, I won't lie. There's a time I was so mad. I was like, why are you doing this to me? And I know you've heard it a couple of times, because they're like, Prez is so talented, he's so big.
Would you share that with me? What was that?
I think I was mad at seeing you disorderly. Let me just say that. I'm trying to keep it safe. You were disorderly on TV, and of course you've apologized for that and you've given your view for that. And I was like, man, like, this is a man I grew up listening to. Not really grew up as teenager, whatever those things. And I'm like, the momentum that everyone sees whenever they see Prez is, you know, because tumekuweka pale juu.
Absolutely.
And you know there's a time people were angry at you. Did you ever feel that there's a time Kenya was very angry at you?
They have mixed reactions.
Okay.
And you see, the thing is, you cannot judge a book by its cover, because you see, number 1, mama never raised no fool. Number 2, you know, like, there's no way I can put myself out there clearly knowing that this is going to be broadcasted, right? Nani Chome. You see, but if you take time and read that book and then you get to understand it, then you realize that, oh, it's not actually what I thought You
Yeah.
see. So this instance, you see, like that's why I'm comfortable by asking you, what was it?
Yeah.
You see.
I like
and you pinpointed it. You
Yeah.
see. Lakini, the thing is, when I went for that specific interview, right? We linked up with the lady. You know, we spoke like we linked up like on a Wednesday. And then she told me, she's like, I have this show, why don't you come out, pull up, you know, and and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And if I was intoxicated, right?
Yeah.
Once I walk through your studios and you see clearly this guy is intoxicated,
Why would you keep running?
you wouldn't keep it running.
That's
So which
true.
goes to show that I was in my right state of mind. But you see, had I have gone to that interview and been just like the rest, then they wouldn't have been talking about me as much as they did. When you look at that interview, right, there's nothing wrong I did. I didn't abuse anybody. I didn't cuss at anybody. I just did things the Prezzo way.
But why you a little tipsy? Had
No.
you tasted something? Don't lie to me.
On God, you know, I wouldn't lie
Okay.
to you. And again, you know, like to prove my point, right?
Yeah.
If they saw that side of me, if they
Yes.
saw like this guy is not qualified to be on this set, they wouldn't have allowed me on that set.
Because also it has a lot to do with their name as well.
Of course. And then the fact that, you know, like you have this segment in your program,
Yeah.
in your show, whereby, you know, celebrity news anchor, right? And then you know, that's why I told you again, the mastering the art of saying no. Because man, you know, you're not gonna tell me jump in and ask you.
You
how
wanted to say no that day. You were uncomfortable.
No, I wanted to trend that day.
Okay.
And you know, the only reason why I trended is because I did things my way.
Okay.
Again, you know, people talked about me to an extent whereby I had to go back and watch the interview.
You're
again.
like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, but you see, at the end of the day, this is show business. And at the end of the day, you know, like we're a bunch of us. So what's going to make you stand out?
Yeah.
So, you know, as a celebrity, it's a gift and a curse. Sometimes you might be misunderstood, you know. But then as time goes by, I can tell you why.
Yeah.
I did a show with one of my brothers I went to high school with.
Okay.
It's called CTA, right?
I like that guy. Really cool.
Yeah, Richard, you know, shout out to him. I did the CTA. At first I was skeptical because Richard told me, I asked him, how long is this thing going to take? He told me, well, bro, you know, actually it's going to take a couple of hours. Then I was thinking to myself, man, I'm going to commit a couple of hours out of my schedule. And then I said, you know, actually, why not, you know? Because you see, like the best part we're discussing before we went on air, we talked about how when you have a podcast, it's like heaven on earth, you know, because
There's freedom.
There's freedom.
Yeah.
There's time, you know.
Yeah.
So I came to realize the reason why I'm so misunderstood is because I was never given that platform to actually explain myself.
I like that.
So when I did this CTA, of which I was skeptical to do before that, I did the CTA, and you know, like the comment section, that's when I really realized that, good Lord, you know, people really did misunderstand this dude, you know.
It really went, because you know, and that's why we're here. The show is called Point of View.
Yeah.
We always want to give your perspective. Let's see things from Prezzo's eyes.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes we're always viewing from the outside, not inside.
Absolutely.
And
you know, like, don't get me wrong, you know, I appreciate, you know, your honesty when you say, like, you know, Prez, there's a time A, B, C, but you see, it gives us the room to conversate.
Yes.
And you see, like, I can explain from my side. Now, you know, at the end of the day, had I have gone for that interview and said, my name's Jackson Getcho Makini, I went to this and this school, yes, thank you.
Sit up straight. Thank you,
sit
sir.
up straight. Yeah, it would have been just like a fart in the wind. Now, why would you want to intoxicate the air? Intoxicate is somewhere where we can smell it, we can feel it.
There's something I've always wanted to ask, by the way. Other, because I can believe you're a businessman. You have mentioned that you're a businessman several times.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you sell?
I sell ice in winter. I sell water to a well.
Nah, Prez, you're not going to do that to me.
I'm a jack of all trades.
No. What do you sell? What do you sell apart from music?
I have Makini Herbal Clinic, you know. I sell herbal remedies to people, and they actually make them a better person than they were before. So you find like we have problems with ladies who have problems with fibroids. We have medicine for that. We have. So aside from Makini, which clearly everybody knows, you know, I supply Pembe millers with maize.
Okay.
You know, I'm a jack of all trades. I swear to God, if I start now, I wouldn't finish. I do real estate. You know, man, I got a whole family to provide for.
I like that.
So aside from the jokes and everything, man, you know, when it comes to grind, you know, like I honestly have to grind hard. And it's because, again, I know so many people pray for my downfall.
Yeah.
But then mazee wanajiuliza nasema mtachoka lini, because man, you've been praying since 2004 and I'm still here. So I use the negative energy to channel.
I'm trying to count.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's quite some time.
Wacha tu mazee 24. Tradition.
Hey, see kana. Oh, Ngetchu, it's really good to see this version of you. I won't lie. I feel like the Ngetchu I met 2 years ago, and I've met you many times before. There's always good to see a different version of yourself.
Absolutely.
What can you say has led you to be this man lately? Are there new people in your life that are making you like this? Are you closer to mom now? What is it?
No, I'm closer to God, you know. And again, you know, when you look back at the lifestyle before, you know, you're just like, whoa, you know. And, you know, like, it's just the syllabus of life. You see, like, back in the days, for our grandparents and our parents, the word, what's this thing they say all the time about mental, they say...
I don't know. I was about
they
to
say that, you know, people complain about their mental health.
People are complaining about a lot of right now. Everyone is having a mental breakdown.
Yeah, you
anxiety,
know, mental health, man. You know, like there is no such thing. It's just because you've made yourself believe that your mind is so weak, and you've chose to not understand how strong your mind is.
Yes.
You see. The power of the mind is very strong. So you cannot say, you know, my mental health. No.
You feel like people are pitting themselves.
People are pitting themselves. And you see, the sad part is with this new generation, they'll grow up now with that mental health.
So you feel like people are selling this agenda? Is there really no mental health issues?
No, come on. Because if it was there, then our parents would have also been... Me growing up, I never had anything about mental health.
Okay.
You see? And this is just something that we implement and instill inside us. So you see, like, the power of the mind is very strong. And once you realize how strong your mind is, there's no room for mental health. You see?
As an issue.
Yeah, as an issue. Forgive my French, but people say, yeah, you know, I had to get out of my porn addiction. You're not addicted to porn, you're just idle.
If you're working, you probably...
If you're working, man, you won't reach out for that Vaseline. That's the honest truth.
Okay.
So, you know, you just have to understand how this world revolves. And, you know, like, because people have instilled it into these millennials that there's such thing as mental health, I want to take it upon myself to become, like, a mental health ambassador. And just make people, and these youngins especially, realize just how strong their minds are.
Yeah.
You know, once they realize that, then there's no breaking you down. I can elaborate a little bit further. You see, like, say, when you go for military training, right?
Yeah.
They teach you how to endure pain.
Okay.
You see, all that is not ati ngozi yako ama sijui. It's up here. You can fight it mentally. You see? So if those people are actually taught, why they're taught to endure pain is because if they're captured and they're hostages, of course, you know, they'll try each and every way to get things out of you.
That's true.
And that's why they're taught to, like, endure that pain, you know? So there's a lot of, like, you know, unanswered questions out there. But I'm glad, you know, you see, through this podium that you've given me and we're here vibing.
Yeah.
Whoever... You know, the good thing about life, we have choices.
Yeah.
One can choose either to listen, implement, and sieve, or just disregard the whole thing. I
wouldn't lie. Mental health is it's a very crazy topic. If we get into it, if we dismiss it as well, we seem like we're not sensitive to other people.
No, but that's sorry.
Yeah.
That's why I want us to become those mental health ambassadors. You see, because these are just some things that were actually planted, you know.
Okay.
just I don't know for what reason, but you find someone mazee, unakuta mwanaume mzima amejishika tama, unajua ile, what's up my nigga, mental health, yo bro, doesn't go like that, you know.
Get out there and work. Is that your?
No, just, you know, understand how strong your mind power is.
I like that. Understand how strong your mind
power
is.
Yeah, you won't even play with it no more.
I like that. I like that. I think that would make it a little bit safer for everyone.
Yeah.
Instead of just wallowing in, I'm in a bad state. I like it. I like that narrative. It's really, really good. Prezzo, I have to say one thing.
Tell me.
I saw the last time I saw a music video by Prezzo was last year.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, like I'm at a level in my life whereby I go with the flow.
Okay.
I don't like forcing things. I don't like. So you see, to be honest with you, I record each and every single day because it's therapeutic for me.
Okay.
Right. But then again, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm that one person who moves at his own pace. You know, and I don't feel under any pressure. Because, man, you talk it, I lived it, I've done it, you know. So, and then another thing is, you know, like, I think I have some bragging rights today because, you see, most of the cats that we started music with, right, I don't think majority of them, like, if you walk with me outside the streets, you'll see the major difference.
That is true.
And that's
a lot of them got into different industries, but you stuck to the guns.
Yeah, man, and we're still here. So, yes, I did put out a video last year. I'm under no pressure at all, you know, because my mind right now is focused on this generation who don't know how strong their mind power is.
Yeah. This
generation who I think are very misled, you know, and that's where most of my weight right now is at, you know. For me, I just want to be a better person than I was yesterday, and I want to implement that also to people out there. For those who listen, well and good. For those who don't, hey, you know. So I'm at no pressure whatsoever
to release any more music or nothing
but
like that.
But if you told me right now, where I can play for you over 50 songs and they're on point too.
Wow.
You see, I always try to, like I said, it's therapeutic for me.
To just always, that's how you let...
you
let out how you feel.
Yeah, I release my stress whenever I write my rhymes. More money, more problems. I got ways to solve them. I'm bigger than them. I ignore them.
That's Prezzo for you. Welcome. And remember, you can catch us on Spotify, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. This is the POV Podcast. Bye.
All day, every day.
We're done.